A solar-powered plane has completed the 9th leg in a 12-leg journey around the world. Solar Impulse 2 landed at Moffett Airfield in Northern California on April 23rd after a 3-day flight from Hawaii. This is the first aircraft to fly through the day and night without using any fuel.
Maybe it will be boring in 20 years when all the airplanes will be electric and people will say, oh, it's routine. But now, today, an airplane that is electric, with electric engine, and that produces its own energy with the sun, it can never be boring. It's a miracle of technology.
The plane's roof and large wings are covered with 17,000 solar panels. They collect energy from the sun and use it to power the aircraft's 4 engines. 4 batteries store some of the energy that's collected to be used on cloudy days and during night flights. Solar Impulse 2 began its around-the-world journey in March 2015, taking off from Abu Dhabi on what was supposed to be a 5-month flight. But bad weather kept them grounded in Asia for several weeks, and after the batteries overheated on the 5-day flight from Japan to Hawaii, the plane's 2 pilots spent 10 months in Oahu making repairs. The plane doesn't carry any passengers. In fact, it only has room for 1 person. But the pilots, who take turns flying it, hope that Solar Impulse's trip around the world will inspire people to use clean technology.
And I was really thankful to Live for bringing me this experience. It's maybe this is one of the most fantastic experiences.
The next steps are to fly across the United States, then a long flight over the Atlantic, landing in either southern Europe or northern Africa. If all goes well, the final leg will take the plane back to Abu Dhabi, making it the first aircraft to circumnavigate the world using only solar power.
All right, I want you to pause your video, and I want you to go tell a family member, anybody, it can be a baby, I don't care, somebody, how the Impulse 2, what forms of energy are involved in making the plane fly. Go tell someone, hurry. All right. I hope that you went and told somebody for me. Now we're going to fill out this paragraph after we've watched the video, and we're going to use information from the video to choose the correct form of energy to fill in the blanks of the paragraph. Panels on the roof and wings of the plane absorb blank energy from the sun. So what type of energy comes from the sun? Is it electrical, mechanical, solar, or chemical? Yeah, it's solar energy, comes straight from the sun. So we know that the wings on the plane are absorbing solar energy from the sun. This energy then changes to what type of energy to power the plane? We know fuel isn't powering the plane, so what type of energy is? Yep, electrical energy is what we are using to fly this plane, because the solar energy from the sun gets changed into electrical energy to power the plane. Some of the energy is also stored in batteries in the form of blank energy, mechanical or chemical. So remember, mechanical energy is the energy that moves. So it changes because it's moving. Chemical energy means that there's chemicals in it that create a chemical reaction that then create energy. So a battery, does a battery have something inside of it that moves, or does it have chemicals inside of it to store energy? Yep, that's right. They store the batteries in the form of chemical energy. This energy powers the plane on cloudy days and at night. The energy produced by the engine changes to blank energy when it flies. So remember, mechanical energy means that it moves. So when the plane is flying, it's moving, it's doing work, so it must be mechanical energy at the end. How can stored energy be used? Potential energy is stored energy, or the energy of position. One form of potential energy is chemical energy, which is found in many things, including food, batteries, and gasoline. Elastic potential energy is due to a strain on an object, as seen in the coiled spring or a stretched rubber band. A third form of potential energy is nuclear energy, which is released by combining or splitting atoms. Another form of potential energy is gravitational potential energy, which is dependent on the distance that the object is from the ground. What must happen to potential energy before it can be used? So potential energy is just stored energy, and we've talked a little bit about that. And it's not moving yet, so it's not doing any work. What must happen? A force has to act on it. Potential energy must be changed into kinetic energy to be useful and perform work. Kinetic energy is seen easily as mechanical energy when an object moves. That means moving energy, kinetic energy, is easily seen because mechanical energy is when something moves. Other forms of kinetic energy cannot be easily seen, but they do involve visible movement, including electrical energy, which we remember that the atoms move, so electrical energy is a visible movement. Sound energy, remember that sound energy has waves, and thermal energy also has waves. We don't see them, but there is something moving, so those are types of kinetic energy, even though you don't see them. They're invisible kinetic energy. Electrical energy is the flow or movement of electrons. Sound energy is the movement of sound waves through matter, and thermal energy is radiated heat. Those heat waves travel through the air and are moving, which makes them kinetic. These are some different things that you can watch or do if you've signed into Discovery Ed at home. So if you sign in, you can click all of these videos and watch them, but I want to make sure we get through the words. How is energy conserved? When energy changes forms, no energy is lost and no new energy is made. This means that energy is conserved, saved. The amount of energy stays the same. The sun converts a lot of potential energy into solar energy. The potential energy is the nuclear energy that's in the sun and is released by particles that make up the sun as solar energy. So even in the sun, remember we talked about how most of the energy on Earth comes from the sun, but even the sun has to have chemical reactions happening to get the solar energy that then come to the Earth. Plants use solar energy to grow. Plants grow into trees that may be cut down to become firewood. When firewood's burned, a chemical energy is changed first into thermal energy and then into light and heat. Does the heat get destroyed? No, it doesn't. It just travels to the atmosphere and then out into space. The chemical energy in fireworks is changed into thermal, mechanical, light, and sound energies when the fireworks are lit and explode. If you could measure the amount of these energies, you would find that the amount of chemical energy is the same as the amount of thermal, mechanical, light, and sound energies combined. This is because energy is conserved. It's neither created nor destroyed, but simply changes forms. So remember our short answer in the last in yesterday's post when we talked about how it doesn't just disappear forever. The types of energy just change into a different type, and that's where the energy goes. It doesn't just disappear, it changes to a different form. So here's another video that if you sign in, you can watch. And that's it for today. So I hope that you guys get on your TSC Tech links and go to Discovery Ed. If you sign into Discovery Ed, then you will find a box that says Science Tech Book. You'll have to find that box and click it. When you go to the Tech Book, you're going to go to Unit 1 and then find the second one called Changing the Form of Energy. When you find the label Changing the Form of Energy, that'll give you this page right here. The Engage and Explore are the ones that we just went over today and yesterday, where you can go through and watch all the videos and play some of the games. All right, I'll see you on Monday. I hope you're all having a good time and staying safe and healthy. Wash your hands.